I think as a guy, right, you hear a lot of mixed messages from social
Yeah.
or from the media about, hey, don't do this, don't do that. If you do that, you're going to be toxically masculine. So how do you navigate this culture in this world? Are you still just a gentleman? Do what your grandfather would have done? How do you navigate this so that you don't look like a chauvinist or anything like that, but you still are yourself and a gentleman? How do you navigate that, Trip?
Well, the thing is the guys that I work with, they're not guys who are going to be doing that stuff, right?
Mhm.
Like I get a question a lot of like, oh, what do I do now in the Me Too movement? Like Me Too, like now girls are so sensitive and they don't want us to talk to them. It's like, no, they just don't want to be sexually harassed at work and raped. That's always been a thing. Okay.
What?
Yeah. Like, duh. Right. And it's like, don't worry. You're not going to be doing that. I'm not teaching that, obviously. I also, one of my biggest tips is, by the way, don't meet women at work. Don't try to date at work for those exact reasons. But guys don't have to worry about that. Just understand women want to meet men. They just want it to be in a way that is respectful. You know, you're not going to be doing anything disrespectful here, and they just want a confident guy, and that hasn't changed for hundreds and thousands of years. So there's always going to be something going on in the world, but it's not going to change that women still do want a confident guy. Yeah, and then there's the, well, what about chivalry? Should you open the door? Should you not? It doesn't matter. You want to do that, do it. If you don't. It doesn't make or break anything. You know, go with your gut on that one. You want to open the door for her? Open the door for her. Either way, are you a cool, interesting, awesome guy who's honest with her and respectful in the ways that you understand how we define respect? You're golden. Everything
All
else
right.
will fall into place.
What about first dates? I think that's something that I struggled with when I was single was, how do you you want to put your best foot forward, but you don't want to set the bar too high. Do you go out for coffee? Do you go to a bar? My first dates always ended up with me being drunk, making out like in the car. And so
That
not
doesn't sound so
necessarily.
bad.
Yeah, well, actually, the next morning when I actually realized, no, yeah, they weren't 100% tens, but anyway, what's a good first date sort of rule of thumb or tip? Does it depend on the situation or the person, or talk a little bit about first dates?
Sure. Yeah. So, first date, I say to guys, drink coffee, maybe a dinner, depending. Okay. That's it. I go a little bit more towards get a drink at a coffee, because if you're going on a lot of dates, this is going to add up for you pretty fast if you're doing a lot of dinner dates. So, and by the way, big mistake I used to make. I would take girls out to dinner and try to like impress them and go to like really like nice places. And then I would never go on a second date with them. And I just dropped like $150. I was like, okay, this has to end. And I fast learned that you don't need crazy dinners. You just need a good connection. So getting a drink, or if you're like sober and don't drink alcohol, get some coffee, maybe a few bites. If it's one of those places that has like tapas or whatever is fine. And then it's the same idea of just being comfortable, relaxed, getting to know them. And here's a key for first dates is ask them questions that you're genuinely interested in. Don't ask them questions because you're filling in, the blank space of a silent conversation. Ask them questions that you want to know about them. Find out what it is that you're looking for in a woman, and that will guide and dictate what kind of questions and conversations you'll have. So if you're someone who's religious, or if you value having kids one day, or if you want to make sure that you date someone who's really active and has an active lifestyle, those are the things that are going to guide how the conversation is going to go. You be relaxed. Don't think about impressing her, because that never works, right? Because you end up looking like a fool. And I say, if you have a good conversation and the date goes really well at the end of the night, the first date, go for a kiss, hands down. Going for the kiss will never hurt it. If she says no, that means she was never interested to begin with. Or sometimes they'll say no because they're not ready to get physical with you yet, but they'll still actually go on a second date with you. So it never hurts it. Always go for that, because you want to break out of that friend zone and make that physical connection.